In this video, we will explain the application and settings of the 48-channel and 96-channel Generation 3 controllers. Before we start the introduction, let's first get to know the three software programs used by the controllers: the Traffic Management Client, the TCP Module Configuration Tool, and the Traffic Management Server. So there are two ways to connect to the controller. The first one is remote server connection. That is, when the traffic controller is installed in a location far from the operation terminal, such as 200 or 300 kilometers or even thousands of kilometers away. The controller can access the network through the Ethernet cable connected to the external network or a 4G network card, and then connect to the remote server. In this way, even if they are thousands of kilometers apart, remote control of the controller can be achieved. And the other one is local LAN connection. In a local LAN environment, such as when the computer and the on-site router are in the same line segment, local debugging can be carried out. Before the operation, make sure that the computer can access the network normally and record the IP4 address of the computer. The IP address of different computers or routers may vary. For example, this computer it is 192.168.35.198. And then it's about the operations of the TCP Module Configuration Tool. Open the TCP Configuration Tool and you can configure the Ethernet module. If multiple controllers are connected simultaneously after the search, all controllers' modules will show as online. For example, if I have connected 115 controllers in total, after the search, the modules of these 150 controllers will show as online. Each controller has a unique ID. You can either use the default ID such as 437, 485, etc., or customize it as the intersection name according to actual needs, such as Shenzhen. If remote control is required, enter the domain name of the remote server here. To remotely operate the controller and view the intersection operation status, if you want to set it up in the office or a place without network access, you can conduct debugging within the local area network. You can use the computer's IP4 address, and the IP address also supports automatic acquisition. Then here is a hexadecimal code, and this code cannot be changed. After setting the remote or local connection parameters, be sure to click Save. In a traffic client, you can select the language according to your needs, and also modify the login account password of the client. The initial login account and password are both admin. After entering the original password and setting a new account password, click Save. When the client is successfully connected to the server or locally, the system will give a prompt. You can see that now we have a total of 150 controllers connected here. Affected by the network speed, the connection speeds of different controllers may vary. For example, areas using fiber optic connections have a faster connection speed, while the places using hotspots or in remote areas with poor 4G signals have a relatively slower connection speed. On the home page of the client, a maximum of 200 online controllers can be displayed. Online controllers are shown in color and offline ones are shown in gray. And then it's about the operation of the map function. The home page of the client provides a map function which supports zooming in, zooming out, and left-right adjustment. Double-click the left mouse button in a blank area of the map to perform operations such as map saving and positioning. The system provides multiple map options such as Bing Maps, Google Maps, etc., and users can select according to their actual needs. After moving the map, you can set and save the center point. If you need to increase the number of controllers displayed, you can add up to 200 intersections. After moving the map, you can set and save the center point. If you need to increase the number of controllers displayed, you can add up to 200 intersections. Similarly, double-click the left mouse button and select Add. For example, if I need to add number 190, double-click here, add it here, and then save it. All parameter settings need to be saved to take effect. And then it's about the server connection and port configuration. The connection methods of the controller server are divided into domain name connection and local connection. The port numbers start from 60000 and can be increased according to requirements, such as 60001, 60002, etc. The port configuration needs to be used in conjunction with the traffic management server. For example, 10 or 100 intersections can be divided into one group, and different ports are assigned to each group. The specific setting method will be introduced in detail in the traffic management server section later. After completing the configuration, be sure to save the settings. And the next is about the intersection member management, managing up to 200 intersections at a time. ID and name setting. Each controller has a unique client ID, which has been set in the TCP configuration tool. Here, you can customize the name of the controller. For example, name controller number 368 as Shenzhen for easy identification. Save after setting. Latitude and longitude and icon setting. If the controller is equipped with a GPS and the satellite signal is valid, the system will automatically locate and display the latitude and longitude coordinates of the intersection. At the same time, according to the actual situation of the on-site intersection, you can select the corresponding intersection icon, such as four-way intersection, three-way intersection, one-way intersection, etc. Red icons indicate the display state, and gray icons indicate the non-display state. In addition, you can also adjust the intersection angle. Save after setting. Intersection connection. When multiple intersections need to be formed into a green wave band, you can select the corresponding controller IDs, such as 18, 19, 22, etc. After adding, save it, and a green line will be displayed on the home page to connect these intersections, which is convenient for differentiation and management. Fault records and handling. The fault records of the controller will be displayed on this page. For example, if controller number 147 has an open circuit or short circuit fault, you can click Query here to query the fault. After the fault is repaired, click Clear here to clear the fault and record to prevent the shortage chip from continuing to save the record, which may cause it to still be displayed next time. In addition, you can also query the fault records of a certain day or all the fault records. Green Wave Band Planning Tool. When using the Green Wave Band Planning tool, you need to calculate the offset time according to the actual distance between the intersections and the vehicle speed. For example, if the distance from intersection number 1 to intersection number 2 is 7 kilometers, and the distance from intersection 2 to intersection number 3 is 8 kilometers. You need to set the speed limit combined with the traffic flow, and then calculate the offset time for each section. Traffic flow monitoring. Traffic flow monitoring requires the installation of sensors such as traffic cameras, loop sensors, or traffic radars. The system uploads traffic flow data every 3 minutes, and the page will display the traffic flow of each line within a specific time period. You can select a specific intersection or controller to query the traffic flow data of a certain day, month, or all data, and you can also export the data in a table for data analysis. And then it's about the controller setting entries. First method is the direct click method. Move the mouse to the entry ID of the controller that needs to be set, and click the left mouse button to enter the setting page. And the second method is list selection. Select the controller that needs to be set in the right-hand list, such as number 93, and click Enter Configuration to enter the setting page of the corresponding controller. Through these two methods, you can select and switch the controller that needs to be set at current ID and enter the actual intersection operation setting page. Select the controller you need to set. For example, if I need to set number 3 now, I will select number 3. And then it's about how to set the parameters of the controller. Information display on the operation interface. In the simulated intersection operation diagram, you can directly observe the real-time status of the traffic lights in the 4 directions of east, south, west, and north. For example, if one direction is currently showing a green light, the other directions will show a red or yellow light. If the controller is connected to a temperature and humidity sensor, the interface will report the real-time temperature and humidity of the environment. For instance, it may display a temperature of 24 degrees and a humidity of 29%. When the cabinet is equipped with a door opening and a closing sensor, if one door is open, it will display door open, and it will only display door closed when both doors are closed. The closed door state is showing in green. And next sector is about the manual control. Traffic police can intervene the operation of the controller according to the traffic congestion situation on site. Taking the east direction as it As an example, when there is a traffic jam in the east direction and less traffic flow in other directions, this direction can be controlled. The maximum control duration is 240 seconds. You can adjust the control time according to actual needs. In the traffic function setting, less than 240 seconds, such as 30 seconds, 100 seconds, etc. After the traffic flow is released, the control operation can be cancelled. The control methods for other directions are the same. And there's about the special control. In addition to direction control, it also supports yellow flashing control and full red control operations. You can select yellow flashing, cancel yellow flashing, full red, cancel full red as needed. In addition, custom control can be carried out for straight through, left turn, and right turn lines. For example, if the traffic flow of the certain line, such as the right turn line, is extremely low, you can customize the traffic lights of this line to flash yellow continuously or maintain a specific light color display. However, it is necessary to judge whether it is applicable in combination with on-site environmental factors. After the operation, you can set cancel or reset. Resetting will restart the controller. Operation information display. The interface will display the current operation mode, the remaining green light time, the operation menu number, and the specific time periods of multi-period operation. And here's about the GPS setting. The GPS can automatically synchronize with the satellite time. If you want to use the green wave band function, you must check the enable the GPS to ensure that the time of all controllers is consistent and guaranteeing the normal operation of the green wave band. Detection mode setting. It is recommended to use two detection modes. The first is Detect All, which is suitable for road intersections when there's an open circuit or short circuit in the traffic lights. The system will detect and report it to the fault record, which is convenient for troubleshooting. The second is Communicate but do not detect, which is suitable for office demonstration scenarios. When no traffic lights are connected, selecting this mode will not report fault records, avoiding interference with the demonstration effect. After completing the above settings, be sure to perform the save operation. Enable and disable of intersection directions. For the four directions of east, south, west, and north, flexible settings can be made according to the intersection type. For example, a T-shaped intersection only needs 3 directions, so the fourth direction can be checked to be disabled. A one-way intersection only needs 2 directions, and the redundant directions can also be checked to be disabled. After completing the settings, click Save. Then it's about the mode setting. The first one is British mode. In this mode, the traffic light's output follows the sequence of red, red, yellow, green, yellow, red, which is set according to British traffic rules. After enabling this mode, be sure to click Save. The breakpoint mode is used to set the time when the countdown starts to flash at a specific number of seconds. It supports the setting of the breakpoint times for the red-green countdown of line and pedestrian traffic lights. For example, if you want to set the green lights to start flashing in the last 8 seconds and the red light to start flashing in the last 10 seconds, you can set the parameters to 10 and 8. Note that this function requires a countdown device with a breakpoint function to work properly. After setting, save the settings. And then it's about the output board settings. Selection of the number of output boards. The 48-channel controller is equipped with 4 output boards, and the 96-channel controller is equipped with 8 output ports. You can determine the number of the enable output boards according to the actual needs of the intersection. For example, if a 96-channel controller only needs 6 output boards at a certain intersection, the remaining 2 output boards can be checked and disabled. If an output board not connected to a traffic light is enabled, the system will report an open circuit fault. Therefore, the corresponding number of the output boards should be enabled according to the actual usage. Function definition of output boards. Each output board can output 4 groups of signals, and the function of each group of signals can be set arbitrarily according to the installation situation of on-site traffic lights. For example, if the first group can be set as a right turn, straight through, left turn, pedestrian, etc. After setting the functions of each output board, click Save. Time zone setting. Since different countries and regions are in different time zones, it needs to be set according to the actual situation. Taking China as an example, It is the East 8 time zone. After setting it to +8, click Save. Daylight saving time setting. There are two ways to set daylight saving time. One is to set it by date, specifying the specific year, month, day, hour, minute, and second of the start and end. During this period, the system runs according to the daylight saving time. The other is to set it by week, selecting the start and end weeks to determine the operation circle of daylight saving time. In some countries, due to the earlier sunrise in summer, changes in traffic flow and working hours, the system operation time is advanced by 1 hour compared to normal times through daylight saving time. Time synchronization and modification. The system will display the real time of the controller. If the time is incorrect, you can automatically synchronize with the computer time and save it. You can also choose to manually modify the time. When manually modifying, you don't need to click the synchronization function. And here's about the reset and the restore factory settings. The reset function is the same as that on the home page. After clicking, the controller will be restarted. When the parameter settings are forgotten or there are errors, you can select Restore Factory Settings. The password for restoring factory settings is admin8341. After the operation, all data will be restored to the initial state, and the system will automatically restart. A fault record management. After the controller reports a fault, the fault record will be stored in the local client and the internal shorted chip of the controller. After the fault is repaired, the fault record needs to be cleared. The clearing operation will restart the controller. For example, when an open circuit or short circuit fault is reported, first cut off the power, check the traffic lights and wiring, and then clear the fault record after troubleshooting. Boot up parameters. The controller is set with a yellow flashing time and a full red time at boot up as safety protection measures. This time can be modified as needed. For example, the default full red time at boot up can be adjusted from 10 seconds to other seconds like 1 to 4 seconds. Countdown flashing time. The lane and pedestrian traffic lights will flash to remind pedestrians and vehicles when the signal is about to change. The flashing time can be adjusted according to actual needs. Yellow light time. The yellow light time needs to be set according to the actual situation of the intersection and can be selected between 3 to 10 seconds. When set to 0, the light will be always on. When set to 1, the yellow light will flash for 3 seconds. Full red time. The full red time for all directions can also be modified. This full red time is used to prevent accidents caused by vehicles that have crossed the stop line during the red time period and ensure traffic safety. And this energy saving needs to be used with energy saving traffic lights. Data synchronization setting. It is recommended to enable the data synchronization function. Setting it to 1 means enable it, and the controller data can be synchronized. Setting it to 0 disables the synchronization function, and the controller data cannot be obtained. And then it's about the menu setting. The menu setting is used to determine the release order and time of each direction. For example, taking 4-step settings as an example. In the first stage, the straight through, left turn, and right turn lanes in the east direction and the pedestrians in the south direction are released. In the second stage, the lanes in the south direction and the pedestrians in the west direction are released, and so on. When setting it, it is necessary to enable or disable the corresponding options as needed according to the actual connected traffic lights on the output board. A maximum of 30 steps can be set. Depending on the actual situations of the intersection, some left turns, right turns, straight throughs, and pedestrians are released separately, so more steps are required. Special menu. The password for the special menu is ADME8341. Menu number 100 is the boot up menu. For example, it can be set to have a yellow flash for 10 seconds and a full red for 4 seconds at boot up. You can also customize the change sequence of the traffic lights at boot up according to the traffic regulations of different countries. But it must be end with a red light as a safety guarantee. After all traffic parameters are set, be sure to click Save to ensure that the setting take effect. Menus number 101 to 149 support arbitrary custom settings such as red, yellow, and green lights on together, only green or red lights on, etc. For periods with low traffic flow, such as from 12 a.m. to 5 a.m., you can choose to turn off the traffic lights or replace them with yellow flashes or red flashes to meet the actual needs of different intersections. After all traffic parameters are set, Be sure to click Save to ensure that the setting take effect. Green conflict setting. When the simultaneous release of traffic lights in different directions may pose a traffic safety hazard, such as the simultaneous release of streets through traffic in the east and the south directions, risks can be avoided through the green conflict setting. In the system, 0 indicates that the green conflict detection is not enabled. After enabling it, if conflicting phases are set when saving the menu, such as the ESR and SSR, the controller will continuously flash yellow and report a green conflict. At this time, the conflict needs to be resolved, and then the settings should be redone and saved. After all traffic parameters are set, be sure to click Save to ensure that the setting take effect. And then is about the multi-period plan settings. Period and menu configuration. The multi-period plan divides 24 hours of a day into different periods, and different menus can be run in each period. For example, different traffic light release times can be set for the morning rush hour and non-rush hours. According to action needs, different settings can be saved as multiple menus. For example, menu number 1 is suitable for the morning rush hour, and menu number 2 is suitable for non-rush hours. Menu management function. The set menus can be exported to a local computer, and the menus can be customized. If necessary, the menus can be printed for use by engineers or commissioning personnel. If the same computer that saved the menu is used, the saved menu can be directly called. Special menu function. Menu number 255 can make the traffic lights flash in a loop all the time. Menu number 254 is used to turn off all the outputs of the controller to achieve the shutdown operation. Menu number 240 is the sensor error menu. When some sensors, such as cameras, malfunction, the controller will automatically switch to this menu to ensure that the traffic lights in the east, south, west, and north directions operate in sequence, avoiding the paralysis of the intersection due to the sensor damage. Operation mode settings. The first one is cycle mode. In this mode, the traffic lights release operation in the east, south, west, and north directions are carried out strictly in accordance with the steps and times set in the menu. And this is the green wave band mode. When multiple intersections need to form a green wave band, the controllers at each intersection need to turn on the green wave band mode. Data is uploaded and received through the GPS to achieve the networking of the multiple intersections and optimize the vehicle traffic efficiency. And this is the pedestrian crossing mode. There are two pedestrian crossing modes. The first one, usually the pedestrian traffic lights are off. When someone presses the pedestrian button, the traffic lights turn red. When the corresponding phase is reached, they switch to green for release. In the second mode, when no one triggers it, the pedestrian traffic lights are always red. After being triggered, they switch to green according to the established phase. And this is the sensory mode. This is semi-sensory mode. The controller operates the traffic lights in each direction for the minimum time set in the menu, such as 30 seconds or 10 seconds. After the fixed time of 30 seconds or 10 seconds ends, if the sensor continuously detects pedestrians crossing the street, 8 seconds are added each time with a maximum increase of 30 seconds. And this is about the fuzzy sensory mode. And you can set 1 to 6 fixed steps. Fixed time is allocated to the directions with low traffic flow or pedestrian flow, and for the directions with the high traffic flow, starting from the specific step, the green light time can be increased both once and maximally. For example, if I set it to 3 here, it means that the green light time can be increased starting from the 4th phase. And this is the full sensory mode. When the countdown with a breakpoint function is configured, the controller operates according to the steps and phases set in the menu. If the sensor continuously detects vehicle or pedestrians within the specified time, the time will be increased until the maximum increased time is reached, and then the next phase is released when the breakpoint countdown is not configured. If there are no vehicles in some directions and the traffic jam occur in other directions, after the sensor detects vehicles and the flashing safety time ends, the controller will immediately switch to the traffic jammed direction, effectively saving the travel time. And next is about the special features in the batch operation settings. Holiday plan setting. Different controller operation plans can be flexibly selected according to the traffic flow on different dates. On working days, such as the peak period on Mondays or Sundays, and on special dates such as holidays, different menu plans are developed and run based on the actual situation of the intersection to meet the diverse traffic control requirements. Sensor-related settings. Fixed steps. 1 to 6 fixed steps can be set to adapt to the on-site traffic conditions. We have a special feature. In a scenario of one-way intersection, if the first step is set to 240, when no one triggers it, the lane traffic lights will remain green, facilitating the traffic on remote roads with high vehicle flow and low pedestrian flow. When the pedestrian presses the pedestrian button, the lane traffic lights turn red and the pedestrian traffic lights turn green. After the pedestrian passes, the lane traffic lights turn green again. Sensor mode selection. There are two sensor modes. When using the camera, data is transmitted through RS485 and 0 is selected in the system. When using devices such as loop sensors, traffic radars, or magnetic sensors, it is triggered by an I/O signal and 1 is selected in the system. Time increase setting. For the lane and pedestrian directions, the time added when a vehicle or a pedestrian triggers can be set. For example, 5 seconds are added for each vehicle passing by, with a maximum cumulative increase of 99 seconds. After researching the maximum time, the next phase is released. The same applies to the pedestrian direction. Green wave band planning setting. When setting up a green wave band, it is necessary to calculate the offset time according to the distance between intersections and the vehicle speed. For example, if two intersections are 7 kilometers apart, the time required for a vehicle to travel from the first intersection to the second intersection is calculated based on the vehicle speed and the corresponding offset time, such as 15 seconds or 20 seconds, is set to ensure that the vehicle can travel smoothly between the two intersections. Batch menu setting. Batch settings can be performed on multiple controllers. Taking controller number 3 as an example, multiple other controllers can be selected, and the menu and the plan of the controller number 3 can be saved to the selected controller at once, making the parameters of multiple controller consistent. So you don't need to set each controller one by one. Batch offset time setting. It supports batch setting of the offset time of the green wave bands between multiple intersections. For example, the offset from intersection number 1 to intersection number 2 is 20 seconds. From intersection number 2 to intersection number 3 is 30 seconds. And from intersection 3 to intersection 4 is 50 seconds. This can be set uniformly in the system. Then it's operations of the TCP configuration tool. Open the TCP configuration tool and take controller number 485 as the demonstration object. If you are currently using a remote server connection, you need to synchronize the IP address in the tool with the computer's IP4 address, such as here, our computer, the address is 192.168.35.198. After completing the modification, click Save and read again to make the settings take effect. Settings of the traffic management server. Network settings. Enter the server. Configure the network parameters and see them. Be sure to ensure that the IP address set in the server is consistent with the computer's IP4 address and the IP address of the SNAT module. After saving the network settings for the first time, you need to open the server. After the interface is refreshed, you can see that controller number 485 is already shown as online. Controller port allocation. In the traffic management server, port settings are carried out for the connected controllers. The port numbers start from 60000 and can be allocated in groups as needed. In this demonstration, controller number 485 uses port 60000 and other default parameters do not need to be modified. In practical applications, grouping can be done according to the number of intersections. For example, 100 intersections can be divided into one group and assigned to port 60000, and another 50 intersections can be divided into one group and assigned to port 60001. And then it's about the traffic management client settings. Open the client. Modify the connection IP address to ensure that the IP address and the port numbers of the client, the server, and the SNAT module are the same. In this demonstration, the port number is set to 60000. If the port number of the server is changed to 60001, the port number of the client also needs to be adjusted accordingly. Connection verification. After completing the above settings, close all related software and reopen them. At this time, the controllers previously connected through the remote server will show as offline, while controller number 485 configured according to the local area network settings will show as online. So far, the local area network connection operation is completed.